Hello everyone, welcome to my channel.
Fertilization and its type. So let's start. To understand the process of fertilization in flowering plant, let's us first talk about all the floral parts. Thalamus. Thalamus or receptacle provide the attachment place for the different floral walls. Sepal. Sepal make the outermost wall. They protected the flower during the bud stage. Petals. Petals are generally brightly in color to attract insects for pollination. Anther. Anther and filament make the male reproductive part of the flower known as stamen. Stigma, style, and ovary, all three together known as pistil. In the ovary are ovules. An ovule is an embryo sac, and in an embryo sac in an egg. Now let's discuss about the process. During pollination, the pollen grains come to lie on the stigma. Pollen grain has two layers, that is the outer layer and inner layer. Outer layer is called axine. It is made up of adsorption called sporopollen, and inner layer is thin. It is known as intine. But at some places, axine is thin. These areas are known as germ pore, through which will emerge the tube nucleus. Pollen grain has two cells. The smaller cell is known as generative cell, which will divide to form two male gametes, and the larger cell is known as tube cell, which will give rise to the pollen tube. The embryo sac has three cells towards salaja. These cells are known as antipodals. There are two nuclei called polar nuclei and three cells towards the micropyle. The middle larger cell is known as the egg and two smaller cells called synergids. The egg and two synergids would form the egg apparatus. The pollen tube emerges germ pore. The haploid generated cells divides to form two male gametes. The pollen tube enters in the microsac through the micropyle. It enters through the degenerating synergids or between the egg and the synergids. The first male gamete fuses with the egg to form a diploid zygote. This process is known as fertilization. The second male gamete fuses with two polar nuclei to form a triploid. Endosperm nuclei, which will change into endosperm cell. The fusion of three nuclei is called triple fusion. Endosperm will divide later on to form nutritive tissue, which will provide nourishment to the development embryo. And the process of the fertilization and triple fusion together, it is called double fertilization. And now let's move to the types of fertilization. There are two types of fertilization. First one is internal fertilization and second one is external fertilization. Internal fertilization. Internal fertilization is the process of fusion of male and female gamete taking place inside the body of the female. In this fertilization, less number of gametes are released. For example, reptiles, birds, biophytes, and tacrophytes. Then comes to the external fertilization. External fertilization is a process of fusion of male and female gamete taking place in the external environment, means outside of the female body. In this fertilization, numerous gametes are released into the environment. These are male as well as female gamete. For example, amphibians, algae, fish, etc. So that's all. Now I would like to conclude. Thank you. চাই ভাল পালে সকলোৱে মোৰ চেনেলটো সাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰি কাষতে থকা বেল আইকনটো প্ৰেছ কৰি দিব আৰু লগতে লাইক, শ্বেয়াৰ আৰু কমেণ্টটো কৰি দিব। আৰু শেষলৈকে ভিডিঅ'টো চোৱাৰ বাবে ধন্যবাদ।